What?
Versus Xin Zhao matchup. I think the moment that Sejuani is having the hawk shot, you have to be very safety first as Tarzan, and he will be spotted by the going for a surprise bot lane gank. He was not spotted by the Scuttle Vision.
Yep, Lahens does have all of his buttons available. They're going to jump right on top of the Tahm Kench, who just gobbles up Sungyun as quickly as possible. Key does have the grey health, pops it at exactly the right time, but is it actually going to be enough? Void Seeker blocked, but it doesn't actually matter as Viper picks up the kill with the...
The replay here, everything perfect from Griffin. You have to engage on the Tahm Kench, and Devour has to be used early so you don't turn onto him. Like you mentioned, does get the great health off. They try to wait for the auto there. The W doesn't do it, but the auto is about min-maxing farming, just like we saw from Knight on TFE. Now normal is this particular keystone choice of the
The Kai'Sa having a pretty decent start to this game so far as Tarzan back down again, flashes in for the Arctic Assault and Key. The grey health pop very early, but you are dead once again, and Tarzan going to grab that kill.
Switch over just yet, got it over the course of that fight. Speaking of fights.
Yeah, now it's another fight as Lahens gets the knock up onto Bono, but the Hail of Blades does a lot of damage back. Life Esports still here as Key teleported his way forward with that unsealed spellbook that you talk about, and they're continuing to fight. Lahens has to flash away as Tarzan in trouble. First death for them. Exactly the 2 kills that you wanted to get as we have a look at this one once again.
It just feels too easy because Tarzan, communication is clear, no flash on Key, far too far up the lane. No ward to clear out either, but here, of course, is the teleport coming in. It means no escape plan. It's actually in the picture-in-picture. Tarzan might be dead again. He is.
Yep, they're diving on top, and that is going to be Tal. Just eating him up there, straight into the grinder, straight back into the death chamber once again. Feels like if Tarzan decides to die, he decides to really die.
There was a very deep control ward that we can see in the mini-map right on the top side, and now Tarzan's level 4, Bono level 6, and that piggy needs to get the hell out.
And look at all these control wards. Most of them inside the base of Griffin as there's the blast cone over. Chlorodoom.
Here is that full replay. Notice again the deep control ward. Tal walks up. They wait for Xin Zhao. Great piece of League of Legends here, and you don't even need to use the flash. They had the vision to just eat over onto the Krug camp.
Avoiding a lot of this damage, but Bono's just going to wait out this shroud and look to really put the pins into Chovy. There's the audacious charge. A lot of damage, but not quite enough. They do the tank battle. Tarzan's going to come over, but Bono, the timing is the same for both of these junglers. Bono getting in there first as the ultimate immediately popped. And now Sword in a bit of trouble. Permafrost down as the knockup somehow registers onto Tal. He looks for the ultimate, the flash from Tarzan. Is he actually going to be okay though? Corrosive charge comes in and Tal once it doesn't get him with the last auto that looked like it was going.
Either Akali or Sion or Sejuani. It's a very short range comp on the side of Griffin. And speaking of Griffin, Chovy in danger of his first death.
Yeah, trying to take down Bono here, who I think the Hail of Blades now on cooldown. The ultimate's going to be used, flashes out of the way. As Fear Beyond Death is going to grind up the Akali, and it's all too easy. Sungyun going to follow up here as well as Tarzan has to flash away, but it's the disdain to get rid of Lahens. Ahead of myself, but what does it mean if this is a win for Humble Life?
Let's first zoom in on this play here and understand it, as the Abyssal Voyage was also interrupted at the start of this play. Kind of crazy to think this play could have been even better for Hanwha Life. It ended up a 1-0. No way out for Chovy. Fear Beyond Death means first death comes in the 5th game. TP here. Watch the minimap. Instantly interrupted. Yes. I guess Lava wasn't aware that Sion was still alive forever.
Yes.
It's possible that Gerald was moved.
Well, I hope so. As Chovy, he's in trouble. Ring of Frost keeps him locked down for a very long time as Bono looks a bit silly.
Flashes.
Jumping forward, but it's Lahens that dies first. Sword finds himself in the front line, which is often where a Sion wants to be, but not this time. He's just dead. Hanwha Life Esports front-to-back team fighting. Further and further forward. Yes, Gerald has been taken out, but guys, let's have a look at this one again. Chovy out of position, and this is why Lissandra is so good into the Akali.
Chovy doesn't want to use his ultimate, gets out of the fight, but then the Hens has to spend the bus. Just nice arrow coming through from Songyun. His old school lady carries. First Deft, then Songyun, both playing Ashe today, and we're starting to understand why. Sword dives in. Yep, there's going to be no dive out.
Walking up the river.
Not spotted by any vision.
Lava looks for it, finds the frozen tomb. First pick, not going to land though, onto Lehens, and that's a lot of buttons now down as here he comes. In goes Sword, they've been split up as Chovy gets into the backline. Ultimate lands nicely from Tarzan, but will they actually have the damage? The reset for Hanwha Life is pretty good. But Viper launches into the backline, and now Key's taking the focus. Tal's in trouble. The knockup is going to land as Tal's taken down, and Griffin. We always ask the question, can they get the miracle team fight as Tarzan uses his whole health bar, and that is somehow the ace. How does Griffin do this?
It's almost a clean ace. It's a 4-for-1 when they were 9,000 gold behind.
We are fighting you right now, and they'll take the Baron.
And it's somehow 2015, 2016 SKT of how do they do it again? Watch the fight here. This is better terrain than Griffin have usually had to fight on. Chovy gets in the backline. This is what we couldn't see Smeb do. Inflict pain onto Songyun. He's out of the fight, not doing damage. No Rangers focus uptime. And then watch the entrance here. Snipes down.
Boom.
Bono, great time from Viper as Chovy can get into the backline. This is Akali, and the Kai'Sa played at the highest level. This is Griffin, and they fight back from what seemed like an almost unwinnable scenario.
And the aggro management,
Team fight started. It is now the better part of 2,000, maybe even less.
Chovy, what the heck was that? He just dives over and steals the red buff, and they just engage. That's Songyun going down. What did you say about wiping out the AD carry? Well, Griffin can do it as well. They will get rid of him, and Lava is going to follow very quickly. And now Bono versus the world. Key wants to get out of their Abyssal Voyage. That one he's not going to be able to do next patch. This was the rebirth of Hanwha Life, but Chovy pops over, steals the red.
Gets the red, but watch the next part of this play. Turns on to Bono, gets the Devour instantly. Wordless communication of Tarzan ulting Songyun. They know the Devour was on cooldown, and Songyun dies in a half second. That's where the talk of wordless communication is actually seen. 50-50 there being offered. Sion has to come soon. Down to 7,000.
Gonna have to use that ultimate. Does have that one available as the Void Seeker lands onto Songyun. Misses the ultimate from Tarzan as in goes Lehens. Gets the quickness as Viper right into the backline. Key's going to be taken out, but Songyun was the first to go down. Stopwatches are not going to be able to stop this onslaught as Lava is picked off. We're looking for the pentakill. That's it for Viper.
Pentakill for Viper. Doesn't need an awesome dude. Does it anyway. Frontlining on Kai'Sa, and Griffin win the game.
That was ridiculous. You can't go for objectives with a 6-item Kai'Sa, especially not in the hands of Griffin. And like you said, they'll walk up the bottom lane. And I doubted them. I'm not going to lie to you, Papa. 9,000 gold is hard to come back from. We haven't seen it so far in 2019. But who's the team that's going to do it? It's going to be Griffin.
Lucky number 13 inside the Kesper Cup. 13 best of ones in a row. This one, the trickiest one. So much credit to Hanwha Life, but in the clutch, Griffin is too good.
Just ridiculous. The Nexus to go down. Hanwha will wonder what the heck went wrong in that mid-game, but they made one small mistake. They missed one arrow, and Griffin came back from a 9,000 gold deficit.
To call it a highway robbery would be do a disservice to how well Hanwha Life played out this early game.
Yes.
It was mistake-free until, like you say, an Ashe arrow was just off on that big model of the Sejuani. And then there was still so much work to be done even after they pulled off the first kills and Baron. They were still behind in gold, but every time from that moment onward, something clicked, that spark fired in the Griffin 5, and from there, no faults to be levied at them. A lot of work on the early game. Finally, a VOD review that's not over before it starts for Griffin in LCK Spring 2019. Big cheer from the crowd. They know that their players outplayed in the clutch, but still has some work to do in the early game.
And we can see that Griffin's still a little bit perturbed by what Hanwha Life has always been able.